the big picture here that's going on is it appears, and by the way, what Keith Smith said was, he said, don't expect the driver of the getaway car to solve the caper. So Congress is not going to be fixing healthcare anytime soon. And in fact, it does everything it can to keep legacy care where it is: sick care, wealth care, and poor care. There's 10% of Americans get great care. And the rest of the 90% are either functionally uninsured, or desperately, one or two medical bills away from bankruptcy. So it's a functional uninsurance problem, number one, and it's a maligned incentive system, which is overstated, but so true. And this new model really fixes both of those problems in a beautiful way, where the dock worker is going to get the same care as the CEO who put the benefits in place, who's going to get the same care as the brand new person who started yesterday. So think in terms of like, what's better than free healthcare with no friction? And that's what this new model is really rolling out in a large scale. And really, since you started your show the same time I did, it's really, since then is when it started to scale. It's like literally a hockey stick. And it's an unstoppable movement. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have a leader. It doesn't have an association. There's no academic studies about it. But you can call it direct contracting, because you're direct contracting not just with primary care, but with specialists like you, because you have a cash pay rate, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah. And everybody does, except for MD Anderson in Texas. They all will take cash, and it's discounted because you don't have to bill and collect, no pre-authorizations. You don't have to screw around with insurance company clerks on the other end of the phone waiting forever. And so you'll take cash all day long. And pretty much every part of the ecosystem will, including hospitals, including rural hospitals who desperately need it. And so really the most interesting things I can do for this show, or at least for your listener, is to go into some examples of how this is working, I think.
Yeah, please. Yeah. If you give an idea, I really impressed the beginning of your show where you often talk about the scale, because you have the numbers and sort of, how many Americans are affected by this, and how much the healthcare is, in different sectors and delivered in different ways. If you could go into those details, it'd be, really,
yeah, there's 170 million Americans that are working for somebody, and most of them are either on a company plan where Blue Cross is their insurance company, or it's self-insured, which is really the fastest growing. So that market share where Papa Bear Blue Cross or Papa Bear United or Aetna or Cigna, they're no longer, those plans are forever increasing in price. So those are shrinking. That's not a growth market. What is a growth market is self-insured. So people are shifting over and saying, well, I'll take the risk. I'll write a catastrophic, gift wrap around my plan, so I don't have any cancer or car accidents or cardio that's going to scare me in my population as an employer. But then I'm going to put in a plan that's going to be, I'll pay for it all. I don't want to get the middlemen involved, the PBMs and the insurance companies. All the PBMs stay involved in some plans. And then there's this third that's most exciting that I think, and it has just taken off in the last few years, I'm calling it direct contracting. It could be called near-site or on-site clinics. And it's not just primary care. It's direct contracting with specialists, surgery centers. It's contracting with a wholesale pharmacy often, or a transparent, thinly margined PBM who discloses their 10% on both sides. It's going to be involving a lab and imaging that's usually independently owned. So instead of imaging costs that are 4 to 6 to infinity times, the independents all have pretty set pricing, not unlike the surgery center I was describing earlier in Oklahoma. So you can literally go online and see what each imaging center is going to cost. And so employers can now make better choices and put in almost like a narrow network, the old HMO days, when you say, go to these people and you'll do better. So the employees in this third model can now go to their pre-contracted doctors and specialists, or if they like their labor and delivery doc and she wants to definitely stick with that guy or gal, they can contract with them for cash. So what will you take for the surgery, for the delivery? Well, $6,000 to $7,000. Okay, we'll pay you $7,000. What if there's complications? There won't be any, but if there are, a little bit extra. Okay, so they contract that in with everybody. So every doctor will agree to some kind of negotiation like that, and it's a lot of heavy lifting at first until you get everybody satisfied, and maybe not all the employees want to elect to this direct contract because it's scary. Now it's free. There's no premium. There's no copay. There's no deductible. There's no co-insurance. But maybe a third of them will migrate quickly because free sounds pretty good. And then the other 2/3 will stick with the old PPO or HMO plan. So, I'm scared to leave IBM, right? I don't want to check out of the name brand that I've known and trusted for, a long time. But eventually they will migrate over to free, because free is, the most powerful word in the English language.